A lot of people hear about astral projection but don't know much about it. You see, every single time we go to sleep, our astral body is in the astral world, in the astral plane. You see, every single person, even though those who are not spiritually tapped in, when they go to sleep, their astral body is in the astral plane. Somebody who is spiritually advanced, who is very much walking the spiritual path full stride, that individual can consciously, at will, explore the astral plane, and they can begin to really see how it works and the functions of it and so on, and explore it consciously at will. However, somebody who is a seeker, who is not so advanced, but they are spiritually advancing, they may occasionally have these dreams where they are fully aware of themselves in that dream. They can see that they are here in this dream and they can look around and it's just as real as this world. Then they're in the astral plane. And you can see when you're in that, you can see that there are people sort of sleepwalking in the astral plane. Those are the people who are spiritually asleep in the material world. They're not tapped into the spiritual self. So when somebody who is spiritually awake and is in the astral plane, they can see these people sleepwalking because they're not tapped into their spiritual self. So their astral body is in the astral plane, but they're not tapped into the spiritual self. So they're not able to be awake and realize that they're in that astral plane. So they don't have that capability yet. But those who walk the spiritual path will be able to have these experiences that they're in the astral plane. They can see themselves in that plane. They can witness that, you know, they they see that this is not the material world, and they can see that this looks just as real as the material world, but it's not the material world. They'll begin to see that they are in their astral body, and they can be able to explore that to a certain extent. But sometimes you explore for a little bit and then you're back in your body. That eventually happens because you don't have that full control yet. Let's say somebody who is like, if you see a monk or a yogi who is fully oriented to the spiritual path, who all their energy moves towards the spiritual path and they have no other desires in the material world, these type of people can actually, at will, as I said, at will, they can control the astral body and explore the astral plane. So they can be in one place and then they can go in another place because they have that control of their astral body and they can go and see the astral plane and so on. The astral plane is very vast. It's very much a place that is bigger than the material plane, and there are many levels to it. Somebody who is of negative orientation, like the black magician, if they go in the astral plane, what they will do is they will invoke certain spirits to manifest in certain areas. For example, they'll put spirits of negativity in specific areas. That's why there are certain places that have a lot of negative spiritual activity going on. That's because a black magician can control that aspect of the astral plane and cause negative things to occur. You'll notice in certain villages in India and so on, there's a lot of negative spiritual activity going on. That's because those who practice black magic in that area can bring these negative influences in the astral realm and have them control and violate certain areas that are capable of being that are vulnerable to that specific type of energy. However, a place that is, you can have a place that is very spiritually positively oriented, and then those entities cannot bring their negativity to that because it's too powerful for them. So a place that is more low in vibration, these black magicians will go in the astral plane and create negativity in these specific areas. So the astral plane is very vast, just like human beings can create negativity in certain areas in the material world. Human beings can also create positivity in areas in the material world. So same with the astral plane, they can make, those who are positively oriented can have certain control in the astral plane and make certain things more positive by bringing more light to it, and so on. However, the astral plane is far too vast for anybody to really encapsulate with their mind and be able to fully understand it. However, those who walk the spiritual path will have experiences of it, but it is not something that is to be seen as the most important thing. It's just simply a certain capability that individuals have, but it is not the most important thing. But it is important to realize that there are planes of existence that are past the physical dimension, that they exist, and the individual who has these experiences will eventually be able to realize that there's so much more to ourselves than just the body and the mind. So if those who have these experiences, it can be very liberating to know that there's so much more than the body and the mind. So those who walk the path will eventually be able to have these experiences and see that, and it will be positive for them to know that these planes exist because of the realizations you will get and knowing that there's so much more out there than we actually know. Okay, peace.